up, everyone? It's your girl Brainy Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my reading plans for January. And also, first and foremost, I would like to say Happy New Year's. It's already 2022. I cannot believe it, but I'm hoping and praying that this year we will be a lot better than last year. But anyways, yes, so these are my January reading plans, aka my January TBR. And so let me go ahead and share with you all the books I plan on reading in January. And also I will let you know, most of these books have not been released yet. These are new book releases that will be coming out in January. So each time a book releases, that's pretty much when I'll be reading them. So the first book that I'm going to be reading is Must Love Books by Shauna Robinson. This book comes out January I believe the 18th. And of course, the cover is what got me. But let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. So it says, applicant, Nora Hughes, the overworked, underpaid, last assistant standing, at least for now. Experience, 5 years too many. When Nora landed an editorial assistant position at Parsons Press, it was her first step toward the dream job. But after 5 years of lunch orders, finicky authors, and per my last emails, Nora has come to one grand conclusion. Dream jobs do not exist. Salary expectations, abysmal. With her life spiraling and the Parsons staff sinking, Nora gets hit with even worse news. Parsons is cutting her already unlivable salary. Unable to afford her rent, Nora decides to moonlight for a rival publisher and maybe poach some Parsons authors along the way. References, Nora, none, well, maybe one. But when Andrew Santos, a best-selling Parsons author no one can afford to lose, is thrown into the mix, Nora has to decide where her loyalties lie. Her new dream job, ever optimistic Andrew, or herself and her future. Required Must Love Books. So like I said, this comes out January the 18th. I'm so excited to read this. I heard nothing but great things about it from other people that have gotten an arc, and they say they loved it. So I'm definitely looking forward to learning or knowing Nora a little bit better and her process as in the workplace. So yes, I cannot wait to read this month. Next book that it's been on my shelves and I cannot wait to get into this, and that is The Forgotten Girl by India Hill Brown. This is a middle grade story, and I just was so excited to get into this one, especially her India's next book will be coming out later on this month, I think on the 4th. I probably won't read that book until maybe in February, but I'm definitely will be picking it up. And so for this book, it says, do you know what it feels like to be forgotten? On a cold winter night, Iris and her best friend Daniel sneak into the woods to play in the freshly fallen snow. There, Iris makes a perfect snow angel, only to find the crumbling gravestone of a young girl named Avery Moore right beneath her. Soon, strange things start to happen to Iris. She begins having vivid nightmares. She thinks she sees the shadow of a girl lurking in the night, and she feels the pull of the abandoned grave calling her back to the woods. Obsessed with figuring out what's going on, Iris and Daniel start to research their town. They discover that Avery's grave is actually part of an abandoned black cemetery, dating back to a time when white and black people were kept separate in life and in death. They become determined to restore Avery's grave and have proper respect finally paid to Avery and the others buried there. But they have summoned a jealous and demanding ghost, one who's not satisfied with their plans. One who is tired of being overlooked and who wants Iris to be her best friend forever, no matter the cost. Oh, so I can tell this is going to be definitely a fast read for me. It's only almost close to maybe like 250 pages. But this has been on my shelf and I cannot wait to read this. The cover is amazing. So yeah, this will be also part of my January plans. And then the next book, I wanted to read this last year, but it didn't get a chance to. So I want to go ahead and read this month, and that is Gilded by Marissa Meyer. This is a new book to a whole new series that she just started. And I believe this is like a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. So let me read the synopsis right here. So it says, long ago, a cursed by the gods of lies, a miller's daughter has developed a talent for spinning stories that are fantastical and spellbinding and entirely untrue. When one of Cyrilda's outlandish tales draws the attention of the sinister Erking and his undead hunters, she finds herself swept away into a grim world where ghouls and phantoms prowl the earth and hollow-eyed ravens track her every move. The king orders Cyrilda to complete the impossible task of spinning straw into gold, or be killed for telling falsehoods. In her desperation, Cerilda unwittingly summons a mysterious boy to her aid. He agrees to help her for a price. Soon, Cerilda realizes that there is more than one secret hidden in the castle walls, including an ancient curse that must be broken if she hopes to end the tyranny of the king and his wild hunt forever. So this is Marissa Meyer's new book that came out last year, I think in September, and I've been wanting to read this. So I'm definitely going to be reading this in January, but let me know down below in the comments if you have already read this, what were your thoughts about it. Just let me know, keep me in the loop of what you thought about it. But yeah, so I'll be reading this month. The next book that I do plan on reading, which comes out on January the 4th, and I actually am part of a book tour for this book particularly, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this, and that is Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round, My Story of the Making of Martin Luther King Day. And this is by Kathleen J. Kirkwood, and as you can see, here is the cover, which I do love this a lot. And this book, like I said, comes out on January the 4th, so I do plan on picking it up really soon. And so for the synopsis, it says, this brilliant memoir in verse tells the moving story of how a nation learned to celebrate a hero. Through years of protest and petition, Kathleen's story highlights the foot soldiers who fought to make Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a national holiday. Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round is a deeply moving middle grade memoir about what it means to be an everyday activist and foot soldier for racial justice. As Kathleen recounts how, drawn to activism from childhood, she went from attending protests as a teenager to fighting for Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday to become a national holiday as an adult. A blueprint for kids starting down their own paths to civic awareness, it shows life beyond protest and details the sustained time, passion, and energy it takes to turn an idea into a law. Deftly weaving together monumental historical events with a heartfelt coming-of-age story and in-depth information on lawmaking, Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round is the perfect engaging example of how history can help inform the present. So like I said, it's in verse. I love books in verse. I literally last year I started reading a lot of poetry, and I still want to continue on doing that in this year. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. Like I said, it does come out January 4th, so right when it releases, I will be picking it up. So yeah, this is the next book that I'll be reading this month. The next book that I'll be reading, which is actually, I have it as an audiobook, and that is House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City. This is the first book of Sarah J. Maas's adult fantasy series that she has, and I want to read this month because next month the second book will be coming out, so I wanted to find a way to catch up. So I thought this would be the best way to do that. And so I don't have a copy of it just yet. I'm trying to wait around and see, because right now there's like a low stock of the hardcovers, so I'm just waiting around, but who knows, I might just go to Barnes & Nobles and just order it and just go ahead and do that. But yeah, so I do plan on reading this book, and for the synopsis, it says, bound by blood, tempted by desire, unleashed by destiny, Bryce Quinlan had the perfect life, working hard all day and partying all night, until a demon murdered her closest friends, leaving her bereft, wounded, and alone. When the accused is behind bars, but the crimes start up again, Bryce finds herself at the heart of the investigation. She'll do whatever it takes to avenge their deaths. Hunt Oftethar is a notorious fallen angel, now enslaved to the archangels he once attempted to overthrow. His brutal skills and incredible strength have been set to one purpose, to assassinate his boss's enemies. No questions asked. But with a demon wreaking havoc in the city, he's offered an irresistible deal. Help Bryce find the murderer, and his freedom will be within reach. As Bryce and Hunt dig deep into Crescent City's underbelly, they discover a dark power that threatens everything and everyone they hold dear, and they find in each other a blazing passion, one that could set them both free, if they'd only let it. With unforgettable characters, sizzling romance, and page-turning suspense, this richly inventive new fantasy series by #1 New York Times bestselling author Sarah J. Maas delves into the heartache of loss, the price of freedom, and the power of love. So I really want to read this. I heard a lot of different mixed reviews about this book in general. Some say like there's really nothing happening until the middle of the book, and then it just goes left at the end. But I don't know. I want to read this. I did catch up on reading the Akata series by Sarah J. Maas. So I read, the last book, A Court of Silver Flames. So I'm hoping she'll finish with that series, maybe with Lucian and Lucian and Elaine. But I do want to start this new series, this adult fantasy series by her, so hopefully I will enjoy it. But yes, this is the next book that I would plan on reading this month. Now, this next book that I do plan on reading this, later on this month, because it comes out January 18th, is Akata Woman by Nnedi Okorafor. This is the third book, and I think possibly the final book for this series. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this, and like the cover is gorgeous. I absolutely love it so much. But for the synopsis for this book, it says, from the moment Sunny Ngwazwi discovered she had magic flowing in her blood, she sought to understand and control her powers. Throughout her adventures in Akata Witch and Akata Warrior, she had to navigate the balance between nearly everything in her life: America and Nigeria, the normal world and the one infused with juju, human and spirit, good daughter and powerful leopard person. Now, those hard lessons and abilities are put to the test in a quest so dangerous and fantastical, it would be madness to go, but deadly not to. With the help of her friends, Sunny embarks on a mission to find a precious object hidden deep in a magical realm. Defeating the guardians of the prize will take more from Sunny than she has to give. And triumph will mean she will be forever changed. So yes, this comes out, like I said, January the 18th, and literally when it comes out on release day, I'm going to be ready. I did pre-order it, but I do plan on still getting it on release day. So hopefully, they'll get it to me in time, but otherwise I'll still be getting another copy, because I'm thinking about giving away, buying some extra copies so that other people can have. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to do something a little bit different on my channel, just a little bit, because I feel like, some people do not have access to these books, even, with libraries and stuff like that. And I feel like maybe I should, now and then just give some books away to somebody that really wants them and really will appreciate them. So I'm thinking about doing that. Let me know down below in the comments if you think that's a good idea or not. But yes, I do look forward to reading Akata Woman. I love Sunny. I love all the adventures they're having. I love cheating and juju that they have going on. So definitely looking forward to reading this month. Now, this next book that I'll be reading this month comes out January the 11th, and that is Vinyl Moon, and this is by Mahogany L. Brown, which the cover is what's gotten me most about this book, and is definitely one, like, most of these books I'm reading in January are my highly anticipated reads, but I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book. And for the synopsis, it says, a teen girl hiding the scars of a past relationship finds home and healing in the words of strong Black writers. A beautiful sophomore novel from a critically acclaimed author and poet that explores how words have the power to shape and uplift our world, even in the midst of pain. When Darius told Angel he loved her, she believed him. But 5 weeks after the incident, Angel finds herself in Brooklyn, far from her family, from him, and from the California life she has known. Angel feels out of sync with her new neighborhood. At school, she can't shake the feeling everyone knows what happened and how it was her fault. The only place that makes sense is Miss G's class. There, Angel's classmates share their own stories of pain, joy, and fortitude. And as Angel becomes immersed in her revolutionary literature course, the words from novels like The Bluest Eye and Push speak to her and begin to heal the wounds of her past. This stunning novel weaves together prose, poems, and vignettes to tell the story of Angel, a young woman whose past was shaped by domestic violence, but whose love of language and music and the gift of community grant her the chance to find herself again. So this sounds really, really good. I really want to know more about Angel. I really want to know what happened in her past, and how she lived in California, and now she's in Brooklyn in a new neighborhood she doesn't really know anyone about. She's just completely out of sync and stuff like that. So I'm really curious to find out what this story is going to be about, particularly as far as what happened with Angel and her boyfriend, and the content warnings of domestic violence and so on. So yes, this is another book that I definitely will be reading this month. Now, this next book that I cannot wait to read, which comes out beginning of January the 4th, that is One True Loves by Elise Bryant. This is the Happy Ever After series, so this is book 2. The first book, I believe, was One True Loves, I believe, or this was the first. This is the second book, One True Loves, but I don't remember the first book, which I think it was Happily Ever After. So that was the first book, and One True Loves is the second book of the series. So, for the synopsis for this book, it says, from the author of Happily Ever Afters come the highly anticipated companion novel, One True Loves, another irresistible YA romantic comedy full of self-discovery, Black love, and a dreamy European cruise. Lenore Bennett has always been a force, a star artist and a style icon at her high school. She's a master in the subtle art of not giving a, well, you know what. But now that graduation is here, She's a little less sure. She's heading to NYU in the fall with the Scarlet U for undeclared written across her chest. Her parents always remind her that Black kids don't have the luxury of figuring out as they go. They have to be 110% prepared. But it's a lot of pressure to be her ancestors' wildest dreams when Lenore is not even sure what her dreams are. When her family embarks on a post-graduation Mediterranean cruise, her friend Tessa is sure Lenore is in for a whirlwind romance. But Lenore knows that doesn't happen in real life, at least not to girls like her. Then she meets Alex Lee. After their parents bond over the Cupid Shuffle, she ends up stuck with him for the remainder of the cruise. He's a hopeless romantic and a golden boy with a 10-year plan. In short, he's irritating as hell. But as they get to know each other during the picture quiz stops across Europe, he may be able to help her find something else she's been looking for, even if she doesn't want to admit to herself. Love. So yes, this sounds really cute. I definitely love, book that's, talks about Black love. And this is a different book, the storyline is very different from anything else that I have read so far. It was even from last year. So this is definitely going to be something that I'm really, really excited to read this. Now, this next book that I definitely want to read, I've been wanting to read this ever since last year. It was technically supposed to be released last year, but it got pushed back due to COVID and the shortages. And that is Shattered Midnight, a Mir novel. And this is going to be by Danielle Clayton, and this is going to be coming out January the 18th. And so for the synopsis for this one, which this is the second book of the Mir series. The first book was by Julie Dow, and this one is going to be by Danielle Clayton. And for this story, it says The Mir Shattered Midnight is the second novel in the innovative 4-book fairy tale series written by Julie C. Dow, Danielle Clayton, J.C. Cervantes, and L.L. McKinney, following one family over several generations and the curse that plagues it. Zora Prazard has arrived in New Orleans with not much more than a bag of clothes, a beautiful voice, and a pair of enchanted red shoes. Running from a tragic accident caused by her magic, Zora wants nothing more than to blend in, as well as to avoid her overbearing aunt and mean-spirited cousins. Music becomes Zora's only means of escape, yet she wonders if she could give it all up to remove the powers that make her a target, especially as a Black woman in the South. But when Zora gets the chance to perform in a prominent jazz club, she meets a sweet white pianist named Philip with magic of his own, including a strange mirror that foretells their future together. Falling into forbidden love, Zora and Philip must keep their relationship a secret, and soon the two discover the complicated connection between their respective families, a connection that could lead to catastrophe for them both. In the era of segregation and speakeasies, Zora must change her destiny and fight for the one she loves or risk losing everything. So, like I said, I've been wanting to read this for a while, and I'm glad that it's finally going to be released and it's going to be coming out this month. So yeah, definitely plan on reading this as soon as it comes out. So I might even do my own review about it, but who knows? But yes, I need this book and I cannot wait to read this. Now, this next book I do want to read. I have this in audiobook and I've been wanting to read it for a very long time. And I know that the second book will be coming out this month, but I'll probably read the book that comes out this month, next month, in February. And that is Black Girl Unlimited, The Remarkable Story of a Teenage Wizard by Echo Brown. And yes, I've been wanting to read this for a while, so I cannot wait to do so. And it goes, Echo Brown is a wizard from the East Side, where apartments are small and parents suffer addictions to the White Rocks. Yet there is a magic everywhere. New portals begin to open when Echo transforms to the rich school on the west side. An insightful teacher becomes a pivotal mentor. Each day, Echo travels between two worlds, leaving her brothers, her friends, and a piece of herself behind on the east side. There are dangers to leaving behind the place that made you. Echo soon realizes there is pain flowing through everyone around her, and a black veil of depression threatens to undo everything she's worked for. Heavily autobiographical and infused with magical realism, Black Girl Unlimited fearlessly explores the intersections of poverty, sexual violence, depression, racism, and sexism, all through the arc of a transcendent coming of age. A powerful memoir for fans of Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson and American Street by Ibi Zeboy. So there's a lot of content warnings within this book, but I definitely want to read this. I've a lot of people, I've heard a lot of great things about this book, and I do plan on reading this by Echo Brown, especially since she's from Cleveland, Ohio. So definitely got to support. And last but not least, I'm going to be reading this book when it comes out on January 11th, and that is Ashes of Gold by JL. I have been ready for this book for a very long time. I loved Wings of Ebony that came out last year in January, so I plan on reading this as soon as possible and as soon as I get my hands on it. But the synopsis is, in the heart-pounding conclusion to the Wings of Ebony duology, which #1 New York Times bestselling author Nicole Yoon calls bold, inventive, big-hearted, and deeply perceptive, Rue makes her final stand to reclaim her people's stolen magic. Rue has no memory of how she ended up locked in a basement prison without her magic or her allies. But she's a girl from the East Row, and girls from the East Row don't give up. Girls from the East Row pick themselves back up when they fall. Girls from the East Row break themselves out. But reuniting with her friends is only half the battle. When she finds them again, Rue makes a vow. She will find a way to return the magic that the Chancellor has stolen from her father's people. Yet, even on Yayo Peak, Rue is a misfit, with half a foot back in Houston and a half a heart that is human as well as God. She's not sure she's the right person to lead the fight to reclaim a glorious past. With a betrayal sends her into a tailspin, Rue must decide who to trust and how to be the leader that her people deserve. Because if she doesn't, it isn't just Yayo that will be destroyed. It will be Rue herself. So yes, I am so pumped for this book. Like, I have plans like for my nails design and everything based on the cover of this book and the colors. So yeah, I'm all in for this book, and JL has been doing her thing, as well as I'm part of Rue's crew. So I've been part of the street team to promote this book, and I cannot wait. I promise you that I cannot wait to read this book. It's been on my radar for a very long time. I went to NetGalley to request it and got denied, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll wait my turn and wait till the release day. But yes, that is it. Those are all the books I do plan on reading in January, and it's very ambitious, but I do plan to try to read all these books as much as possible. You know, it's not a guarantee that I'll read all of these, but hopefully I do, because these are all the books I definitely want to get my hands on and read the words out of the pages. They're off the pages. But yes, that is my January TBR / my January reading plans. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button, that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I hope everyone's staying healthy and stay safe. And once again, Happy New Year. See ya.